Washington, D.C., power flows through information. But what happens when the most sensitive military intelligence in the world ends up on the wrong phone? In the halls of power, a national security advisor makes a fatal miscalculation. On the other side of the world, a special forces team walks into a perfectly orchestrated trap. When the dust settles, 4 American soldiers are dead, 3 more captured. And the most catastrophic intelligence breach in modern history is just beginning to unravel. Signal Lost, a 6-part podcast thriller about betrayal, courage, and the devastating consequences of a world where even our most guarded communications are never truly secure. When everyone is listening, nowhere is safe. Signal Lost. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Feeling overwhelmed by negative news? 5 Good News Stories is your daily dose of what's going right in the world. Like the 103-year-old granny who got caught speeding in her sports car because she was living life to the fullest, or the family who found their missing cat after 3 years when it showed up at their vacation rental. Remember Flop the penguin's incredible comeback after his injury? And that guy who broke the world record for most high fives in 24 hours while raising money for charity? These are the stories that remind us the world is still full of wonder and joy. 5 Good News Stories. Pure positivity 3 times a week. 5 Good News Stories, available wherever you get your podcasts. 5 Good News Stories.
Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey man, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Let's start with Tony Hinchcliffe again, sourcing here from Cutaholic, ITR Wrestling, and Fightful Select. But apparently backstage at WWE Raw the other night, Tony Hinchcliffe's appearance came across as a dud. Some fans did not think Tony was funny during his appearance. I thought he was okay. Some also didn't like the one joke that suggested that the only thing stiffer than announcer Michael Cole was Big E's neck. Big E has not wrestled since suffering a broken neck in March of 2022. Big E addressed the joke during WWE's Raw recap and said, "I guess at my big age of 39 years old, people will say what they want about you. The opinion of you is nothing to do with me. It's not my business. Look, say what you want." He was given a mic. He was given an opportunity. People feel how they want to feel. There's a lot of discourse. Oftentimes, as a public figure, people say things about you, whether they're joke or not, and that's their right. And I think the one thing is, I'm on here. It was said on the show. I'm supposed to talk, especially when things are mentioned about me. I should have an opinion about them. It's just tiring to have to weigh in on everyone's opinion or whatever they say. Look, I'm not hurt. I'm good. I want the discourse to be had without me. Honestly, I have no desire to weigh in on this. I didn't sign up for this. I wasn't aware of this. He did what he wanted to do. People signed off on it. Has nothing to do with me, truly. MSNBC's headline, Netflix's Kill Tony special proves the entertainment manosphere lives on. They write, in Trump's America, neither getting canceled nor refusing to say you're sorry amounts to career suicide. It might even land you a 3-show deal with Netflix. Oh, is it this thing only 3 shows and one's already gone and they already played the Shane Gillis card? Who knows? Actually, let me go on. I'll see how the show is doing. Got the Netflix top 10. My source here is Netflix.com as I record this on Wednesday at 11:24 a.m. Eastern. Gone Girls, Adolescence, Love on the Spectrum. Pulse, the medical show, which is awful. The Residents, which is fun. WWE Raw at 6. Miss Rachel. Devil May Care, $1 Million Secret, Survival of the Thickest. So Kill Tony not up there. And MSNBC writes, to my mind, the comedy was mostly predictable, derivative, and formulaic. But that misses the point. Exactly. I'm glad you added that. That misses the point because I was going to hit you with that. As an artistic endeavor, Kill Tony is not cutting edge, but it is culturally irrelevant and massively so. Monday night was definitely for the boys. Kill or Be Killed featured lots of men who are happy to be in the company of other men as they ridiculed other men. Of the 20 or so comics who partook in Kill or Be Killed, 19 of them were dudes. Skipping ahead, then there's the show's manly visual aesthetic. The set is dark. It is lined with beefy, shiny, bald guys and others in weird hats. There's a live band whose musicians perplexingly crack up at every joke. The audience is stoked, primed for an endless cavalcade of hot man-on-man smackdowns. The episode imparts a basic bro code. Fellas crave competition and combat. The stand-ups who do well are sometimes invited back. There was also a Mexican drum-off, a Kill Tony tradition, apparently. Yes. MSNBC writes, at some point in the episode, Hinchcliffe eventually noticed that few women were on his Netflix special. In an attempt to diversify the proceedings, he forsook the bucket and called one amateur female comic to the stage, even though her minute was unremarkable. He later invited her to perform at his Madison Square Garden show this August. I was surprised that Gillis/Trump didn't dub him Tony DEI Hinchcliffe in response. In all, it was a very manly night. Okay. Newsweek wrote about Kill Tony. They saw what the civilians are saying, and the civilians are echoing what I forgot to put in yesterday and had to have the AI voice once I realized I forgot to make the point. Joe Rogan was there for 2 hours, and I'm sure he spoke at some point, but he sure wasn't participating. On the Kill Tony subreddit, one user wrote, Joe Rogan is the worst guest ever. Why they keep bringing him on? Somebody replied, the guy owns the place. He's going to be there if Netflix is going to come out to film the episode. Someone else said, I get it. He kind of has to be there if he owns the club. And it's on Netflix, but come on, at least engage more. I feel like he's like that on every episode he's a guest on. I feel like he should have definitely engaged more. No, it was going to air on Netflix. I feel like the whole Netflix show was unauthentic. I spoke my piece yesterday. In case you missed it, I think the show works better for me. As an audio podcast, I can listen to at double speed and hit skip 6 times in a row when something's not working. I also feel that the first 10 minutes was way below par, and they put a roadblock to the casuals. The casuals are never going to make it to minute 11 when Shane Gillis' Trump came out. David Spade will have a new special for Amazon out May 6th. It's called Dandelion. In Dandelion, David Spade takes on the perils of flying, charity auctions, the evolution of porn, and more. They put out a trailer, and here are the jokes David Spade chose to share. How's that for a lead?
I was 8 years old. I almost got kidnapped. I'll make it funny. It came out weird. Blonde hair, looked like exactly Macaulay Culkin. And I was kind of tan. I was like shorts. I mean, it was almost entrapment. I'm a bit of a dandelion. I don't know if you can tell. I look tough on TV, but these quads are deceiving. Down, ladies.
Okay, that's Dandelion, May 6th on Amazon. Put it on your calendar. Status tells the story of Rob Schneider paying a visit to the Los Angeles Times headquarters, accompanied by Cheryl Hines. Schneider was active talk with the owner of the LA Times about launching a conservative version of The View. He envisioned it as a talk show with a rotating panel of hosts that would appeal to the MAGA crowd and would be filmed live in front of a studio audience. Status says the talks fell apart for one big reason in particular. Schneider proposed a budget of $14 million to produce the show. The two sides could not agree on a budget. $14 million is excessive. Seth Meyers and John Oliver are extending their residency at New York's Beacon Theater. They'll be there through the end of 2025. You can go see them July 27, September 21, October 26, November 23rd, or December 14th. If you want to see them in August, you are currently out of luck. Each performer does 45 to 50 minutes of stand-up, and then they come on stage together to take questions from the audience. Seth, if somebody actually offers you that SNL gig, take it. 12:30 talk shows are dying. Speaking of 12:30 talk shows, today in New York City, Conversations, David Letterman with Paul Schaefer. Yeah, they're at the Perlman Performing Arts Center. The official description, late night legend David Letterman brings his trademark dry humor, irreverence, and sincere curiosity back to PAC NYC for a conversation with his longtime friend and former music director, Paul Schaefer. We could film this, guys. I'm just saying.
Want this podcast without interruptions? Caliroga Plus delivers this show and over 20 premium shows completely ad-free, right to your favorite podcast player. We've just added exciting new series including Signal Lost. What happens when the most sensitive military intelligence in the world ends up on the wrong phone? White Smoke, taking you behind the scenes of all the interesting things that happen at the Vatican. And Pager Protocol, a thriller about getting exploding pagers into the hands of the bad guys. Plus, receive all your existing favorites like Palace Intrigue about the royal family, daily comedy news, 5 daily trivia questions, and 5 good news stories. Apple Podcast users, simply tap the banner in your Apple Podcasts app that says, Uninterrupted Listening, Spotify and other players. Visit caliroga.com/plus. If you missed all that, check the links in the show notes. It's just $4.99 a month for no ads. Listen on any device, on any player you love, completely hassle-free.
Okay, let's see what's happening at the comedy festivals. Tonight at the Ryman, Nikki Glazer there again, 7 o'clock. Jared Freed at the Lab at Zanies at 7. At Main Zanies, right now with John Goblikon. I'm not familiar with John. I don't recall ever seeing the name before. You guys can shout at your phone all you want. I'm just being honest. Apparently, Right Now with John Goblikon is the official podcast from Necrogoblikon singer John Goblikon. He interviews his famous friends from comedy, music, and entertainment. Seems he dresses up as a goblin, and 4 weeks ago had Dan Soder, and that video has 113,000 views. Hey, you learn something new every day hosting this podcast, huh? Jared Freed has another show at 9:15, and that's it for tonight. All right, if we were in Nashville, did we see Nikki yet? I guess we'd go see Nikki and, I don't know, go get some drinks again for the late show. At Moon Tower tonight, 7 o'clock, Pauly Shore, 9:30, the not-so-canceled Aziz Ansari, 9:30, K. Trevor Wilson. So I had said last night we would go see K. Trevor Wilson, so I guess we'd go see Aziz tonight for the late show, and Pauly, not many other choices. The Travers City Comedy Festival is up and running tonight through the weekend. The big show there is at 7 o'clock, Josh Blue at the City Opera House. So if you gave me a transporter machine and you were like, hey, John, we're going to go see some comedy. Should we go to Nashville, Traverse City, or Moon Tower? Out of all the things I've talked about, I'm picking Josh Blue at Traverse City Comedy Festival. Good lineup, though. Some other headliners scheduled, according to the press release, Mark Maron, Jay Farrow, Natasha Leggero, and a bunch of others. We'll take a look at that over the next few days. I did hear from Dan Bublitz Jr., who tells me he's working on the Melbourne, Florida National Comedy Festival 2026. We were texting yesterday. I went to the brand new BJ's Wholesale Club that just opened near my house, and I was out there shopping, and I was in the car, and I got a text, and my wife's like, who's Dan Bublitz? And I'm like, he's a comedian. He listens to the show. And he has your number? I'm like, yeah, he has my number. We text sometimes. Anyway, so Bublitz is working on this thing. I have asked him to book Adam Sandler as the headliner. I will keep you guys posted. Melbourne National Comedy Festival this time next year in Melbourne, Florida. We are working on this. It is definitely going to happen. No chance that this is a bit. We are doing this. The folks at The Age went to see Randy Adiva's show Killa from Manila. This at the Melbourne, Australia International Comedy Festival. They give it 4.5 stars out of 5. Killa from Manila is about Randy being proud of his rich Filipino origins, his identity as an Asian Australian, being under society's Western microscope, guilty of thinking too much, a self-confessed knowledgeable movie buff, and a super diehard sports fan. We're taken through several what-if scenarios, movie scenes, and we meet Randy's favorite celebrities that he looks up to. Sounds like a fun show. Also, The Age went to see Hannah Camilleri. That show, What I'm Going For, and The Age tells us only Hannah could have an audience eating out of the palm of her hands just by miming 2 fingers falling in love. Sammy J's show is called The Kangaroo Effect. In The Kangaroo Effect, Sammy J essentially brings the Charlie Day meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to life, clawing through an archive of VHS tapes and blurry Polaroids to set out a series of suspects that are to blame for him turning up at a house party in a kangaroo onesie. That's fun. They gave that one 4 stars. Luke McGregor's show, OK Wow, is a 55-minute show, well-paced, through seemingly random thoughts with just the right amounts of audience chit-chat. Topics include flat earther, ADHD diagnosis, stepkids, the shape of his appendage, and finding the love of his life. The Age gave Luke McGregor, OK Wow, 4 stars. Shannon Christmas will have a new special out on Amazon and YouTube May 20th, and as an album on Comedy Dynamics May 23rd. You know how I know this? Shannon Christmas publicist sent it to me. See, if you work for Hulu and you send me something, I'll read it. Shot live in an intimate jazz club in the heart of downtown Las Vegas. The special captures Shannon Christmas doing what she does best, making people laugh so hard they forget they're in a dark room with strangers. There is a spoiler here. I don't want to tell you what it is, but Shanna says, I wanted to make a special that felt like me, loud, fast, honest, funny, but also full of real life, because comedy is how I take my power back. There's a hint for you, and I want people to feel theirs too. Highly Intelligent, YouTube and Amazon, May 20th. I'll remind you as we get a little closer. And that is your comedy news for today. See you tomorrow.